It's a huge topic, right? Is it this incredible opportunity to unlock our potential, or is it a massive threat we should be worried about? To really get a handle on it, we're going to break down the key insights from AI researcher Alireza Hosseini. And this quote is the perfect place to start. Look, this isn't just about a new app on your phone. Hosseini is saying that AI is a fundamental shift in human history. We're talking about a change as big as when we invented farming or built the first factories, events that completely rewired how we live. So, just so we're all on the same page, what is AI? Well, at its core, it's just when we teach computers to think like people, to learn from experience, to reason through problems, and, to do things that you'd normally need a human for. All right, here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll dive into the amazing promise of this revolution. Then, we got to talk about the flip side, the real dangers and risks. We'll also look at the global race for AI dominance, and then we'll wrap up with some practical advice on how you can use AI smartly. Okay, first up, the promise. Let's really get into the optimistic side of things and see how AI could help us achieve things we've only dreamed of. So how does AI actually empower us? Well, for one, it's a massive equalizer. It's giving everyone access to world-class information, it's supercharging education, and it's making huge strides in things like medical diagnosis. It's even getting to the point where one person can create an entire app or website and launch their own company from their living room. And this example from Hosseini just nails it. Think about this for a second. A kid in a small remote village can now get their hands on basically the same knowledge as someone walking the halls of Harvard. The old barriers of geography and money are just starting to dissolve. It's incredible. And the impact on healthcare? It's just as big, if not bigger. Imagine a town with no specialists. Now, an AI can be trained to look at a simple x-ray and spot signs of cancer. This could literally save lives by bringing expertise to places that have never had it before. Okay, but for every amazing promise, there's a shadow. The same tech that can do so much good can also cause some serious problems, and we absolutely have to talk about these darker sides of innovation. Let's start with the one on everybody's mind, jobs. The roles that are most at risk are the ones that are, well, kind of boring and repetitive, things that don't need a ton of creative thinking. This means the skills that are becoming super valuable are the ones machines are bad at. Real creativity, deep critical thinking, and solving really messy, complex problems. But the risks go way deeper than the job market. We're talking about the power to create deep fakes and spread disinformation on a massive scale. When you can't trust what you see or hear, public trust just erodes. It could make the gap between the rich and poor even wider. And of course, it raises huge questions about our privacy. Plus, we have to remember, these AIs learn from us, so they can pick up all our biases, political, gender, you name it. Which leads to this kind of uncomfortable question. If we keep letting machines do all our thinking for us, are we actually making ourselves dumber? And believe it or not, there's some scary science that might back up. Hosseini brings up a study from MIT that found if you use AI the wrong way, it can actually weaken your memory. And get this, it might even have a physical effect, potentially shrinking parts of your brain. That is a huge wake-up call. So, because this technology is just so powerful, it's not just about us as individuals, it's reshaping the entire globe. What we're seeing now is a full-blown competition between countries to become the leader in AI. For a little while, it seemed like countries were trying to work together to set up some rules for AI ethics and safety, but that all changed. Hosseini points out that in 2023, the US basically backed away from some of those agreements, saying they needed to focus on competing with China. That moment pretty much shattered the global consensus and kicked off a new kind of arms race. Now you have nations like the UAE, India, and France all scrambling to build their own AI so they don't have to rely on anyone else. So, with all that big picture stuff happening, what does it mean for you and me? How can we actually navigate this new world and use these powerful tools without getting burned? The very first thing to burn into your brain is this old tech saying. If an AI tool is free, it's almost always because you are the product. They are collecting your data, every question, every conversation. That information is what's valuable to them. So here are a few simple, practical things you can do. 1. Obvious but important. Never, ever feed it sensitive personal data. 2. Mix it up. Use different AI models for different things so no one company gets a complete picture of who you are. Using different email accounts helps with that. And 4. A lot of services now have a temporary chat mode. Use it. That way, it won't save your history. Another thing you have to know about is something called hallucination. It's a weird word, but it just means the AI makes stuff up. If it doesn't have enough data on what you're asking about, it'll just guess. The scary part is, it presents that guess like it's a solid fact. So please, always double check anything important. And this all comes back to that MIT study. The key takeaway is this: treat AI like a co-pilot, not an autopilot. Do the hard thinking yourself first. Brainstorm, strategize, be creative. Then bring in AI to help you build on that foundation, not to do the thinking for you. You know, when you boil it all down, it comes to this one fundamental question about our relationship with this tech. As we feed it our data and change the way we work to fit its needs, who's really in charge here? And Hosseini just has such a brilliant, sharp answer to this. He says, we're not really working for the AI, we're working for the companies that own the AI. Our data, our habits, our attention, that's what fuels their entire business. So, after all that, what's the one thing you should take away? In a world that is changing this fast, the single most valuable skill you can possibly have is the ability to keep learning, to adapt, and to pick up new things on the fly. This isn't science fiction anymore. This revolution is here. It's happening right now. It's not a question of if it will change our world, but how. The only question left is, are you ready?